Welcome to our continuing YouTube video series on employment law for individuals in the oil and gas sector. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this particular episode, we're going to be discussing the situation of losing your job in the oil and gas sector and finding yourself faced with a termination package and moving forward from there. Now, most people, they look at their termination package and they see, well, I'm getting paid quite a bit of money. I don't really want to engage a lawyer, and I should pretty much be happy with it. I'll take a bit of a look on the internet, talk to some other people, and see if it's reasonable and the like. Well, one thing is, the bigwigs at the top of the company, when they leave a business, first of all, they've planned it well in advance typically. But what they've done is they don't just simply do it themselves. They engage their lawyers. So that's why you've got these ridiculous golden parachutes, as they call pay packages, when the bigwigs, the CEOs, the chairmen, the presidents of these companies, the top executives, leave oil and gas companies, energy companies. So take, for example, you got the really ridiculous one when the chairman of Exxon, Lee Raymond, left. Got a golden parachute of $400 million. Or the recent one of Anadarko Petroleum, their CEO, Al Walker. When he walked away, he got a $98 million pay package. And these are in American dollars, to remember. Then we got the example of a bankrupt oil and gas company, Whiting Energy. Their CEO, President Bradley Hawley, walked away from the bankruptcy with an additional $6.5 million pay package. Now, these pay packages have been negotiated, reviewed, pushed up, maximized by working with their lawyers. And the numbers are completely stratospheric compared to what your pay package is. But here's the thing that most people don't do is they don't engage a legal counsel even to take the briefest looks. Because when you take a look at your pay package, oftentimes there's aspects where you can push back on. Sometimes it might not be significant. Sometimes there's something sizable. And sometimes you have leverage to act with your former employer. And what you're doing is you're addressing your situation. Do you think these big CEOs, when they take their big money, they're saying, well, if I take all this big money, the little guy down at the bottom who's been working all this time, he's not going to be able to get as much money. Maybe I should leave like 0.5% back in and have that paid out to you. They have no thoughts about that whatsoever. They simply try to maximize whatever they can, and they negotiate for a position of strength, and that's how they approach stuff. Because the other people there who are negotiating on the other side want to have similar pay packages when they leave. That is their legacy. You have to approach it differently. You have to get a legal counsel who understands what you're dealing with and how to approach this matter. Because are you really going to get anything close to that? No. Should you be getting more than what you're receiving? Possibly. And the thing is, why not find out if you have some greater entitlement? The biggest mistake, and you'll kick yourself afterwards, is if you leave a significant amount of money on the table. Like, it might be $10,000, $20,000 you're leaving on the table. It could be considerably more. You could look at having left $50,000, $100,000 on the table because you simply didn't take the time to talk to legal counsel, to get stuff reviewed that you have every right to do. It's your right to actually take a look at this stuff. It's your right to look at certain aspects of your pay arrangement as to what your termination pay is, what your pay has been, what your severance pay is. All those kinds of things, you have a right to at least look at them, to scrutinize them, and then to make the appropriate decision. Even if you've gone and said, I need the money badly and I've signed off on the paperwork, oftentimes that is not a complete and utter impediment to revisiting your situation. But the fact remains, this is your livelihood. You're moving on and you're out of a job because the numbers game from the top bosses didn't work in your favor. And they felt, well, we have to do this because I have to increase my personal salary. We have to meet the satisfaction of investors, unknown people, not known to yourself. but they have far more importance than you do. And that's what they're driven by. They're driven by other commercial interests that have nothing to do with you. It's like, well, we have to cut off 10%. We have to cut off 20%. Their finance people say, if you don't do that, we're not going to give you the funding you require. You're not going to get the capital infrastructure you need. We're going to turf you as an executive. So if you don't want to release these people, then we're going to get you to be taken off the board, taken off the executive team. So what do? They're in it for their own self-interest, and they cut people at a moment's notice without even thinking about it. That's how they operate. Unfortunately, that is the world we live in, especially with these big, large oil and gas companies. So what you have to do is you have to recognize that, and you have to take control of your own life and take control of your own situation. And that doesn't mean going all gung-ho and crazy on your former employer. It means acting smart and wisely, investigating properly, engaging the right professionals, and making a determination as to whether or not you should be taking some type of action. The fact of the matter is that oftentimes there is no real action that should be taken. That is just an unfortunate circumstance. You're going against a very powerful company. That is the reality that you're dealing with. As such, if you are going to take it, you have to have it well thought out. You have to have a strong, decisive plan, work it through with the professionals, and be very confident. Your professionals, representatives, your lawyers need to be confident in their approach. They need to have some solid standpoint which they can work off of, and they can articulate their position well. And it's just simply not, well, there's a possibility. Some cases have gone this way, other cases have not. They need to be in a very strong, affirmative position to move forward. And it has to be backed up so that you have the confidence, and then also that you won't come off worse than if you move forward. The fact of the matter is, if you have a weak case, simply fighting it is not a good situation. If you have a strong case, it's going to put the oil and gas company in a defensive position, and a position where they need to settle. They might not settle for the full amount that you're looking for, but the aspiration is they will settle for close to what you're asking for, if not considerably more than what they originally offered. And there again, it comes down to your legal counsel having effectively reviewed the materials and finding positions of strength and having points of leverage from the legal side that you and they can confidently move forward in taking this back to your former employer, this very rich petroleum, oil and gas company, and saying, look, this is what I was entitled to. This is what I should have been paid. You're making more than enough money. You could pay me this out. Otherwise, we're going to come harder and we're going to ask for even more. And these are the reasons we're going to do it. And that's all there is to it. You can delude yourself and be happy with what you're getting, or you can actually take the opportunity and actually investigate to see if there is something more. Because like we said earlier on, oftentimes there's considerably more money available on the table. It's just either not known to the other side, to your former employer and yourself, or they're simply trying to lowball you. But do you not want to at least investigate that, given how much it could be that's being left on the table, especially when you've been working for 5, 10, 15, even 20 years with a particular company, and then you've got this offer that seems to be significant, but now you're in a position where it's going to possibly be difficult to get a new job for a couple of years, and you're going to have to stretch this out. Would it be better off to have significantly more money available to yourself, especially when you're talking about these super rich, heavily, well, it might not be heavily finances, but they have considerable assets that at least you can get paid some more money where you are legitimately entitled to that, legally, statutorily, or otherwise. Well, I hope you found this YouTube video informative. If you're looking to see how we can assist you in what our review process is with respect to dealing with individuals in the oil and gas industry who have been recently laid off, fired, terminated, or otherwise dismissed, and having to deal with termination and severance packages, please feel free to contact ourselves. Our information is available on this YouTube video and in the description below. And we wish you all the best of luck as you move forward in your professional career. Thank you.